Welcome to another shave here in the Soap Thing project. In this video I am going to do a comparison shave, a side-by-side shave, a shave-off if you will, between these two razors right here. These are both Wet Shaving Club. I guess now they're owned by Yates, so I'm going to call them Yates. The Yates Merica razors. This one is the stainless steel version and this one is the titanium version. So let's talk about them really quickly. The stainless steel version, this is an older one, back from when it was the Wet Shaving Club, and this one is the as machined finish, so it has no finish on it. This is just how it came off of the press, and it's 3/16 stainless steel. I don't have a scale to tell you what the weight difference is, but suffice it to say, the steel version is significantly heavier than the titanium version. There might also be some base plate and cap geometry differences, just ever so slight ones. I think Yates worked on this razor just a touch after I bought it, but I think I'm going to consider it a wash either way. And both of them do have the magnetic piece right here where you can sit it down and pick up a blade with it. Personally, I think that's kind of gimmicky and a bit of a waste of money. I would rather pay a few dollars less for the razor than have this in there, but that's just my personal opinion. So that's the stainless steel version. It's going to be on my left side. On the right side is going to be the titanium version. Now before I go any further, let's talk about the prices for these. The stainless steel version is about an $85 razor, and this titanium version you see right here is about a $170 razor. Pretty good for a titanium razor made in the United States. So let's talk about this one really quickly. This one actually has a mark on the top cap that signifies that it is titanium. And I also put in a special request for Yates to put a Gillette style date code on this particular base plate. So this one is an S3, so third quarter 2023. And this one is insanely lightweight. Obviously it's titanium. And I do believe this one is finished. It is bead blasted, so there might be some differences in how it feels on the face. We'll keep that in mind. But that is the titanium version of the Yates Merica razor. 6AL4V titanium versus 3/16 stainless steel. For the shaving soap and the aftershave. Now, initially I was going to feature this soap and the splash by itself, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized this is a simple enough scent that I think I can kill two birds with one stone. We're going to use Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements 11-235. And just look at that holographic label. You know, I'm going to tell you something about this soap. I really don't think that this was very highly anticipated or very sought after when it came out. How do I know this? Well, because I waited for a while before I decided to pick this up, and I still ended up with a holographic label, which only the first 50 are made in. So it must not have been that interesting to people if I was still able to pick up a holographic label after waiting so long for it. In any case, let's talk about the notes for this. The scent notes are aldehyde notes, neroli, citrus notes, green notes, mint, petitgrain, lavender, earthy notes, woody notes, and herbal notes. So we got some kind of vague scent notes mixed in with some very specific scent notes. And it comes out to be a bit of a neroli and lavender bomb, if I'm being honest. We'll talk a little bit more about the scent during the shave, but there's not much to talk about. It's tart, citrusy, floral, kind of old-timey. It's an extremely old aftershave and fragrance. I think it dates back to the 1700s. And this is CK6 for whatever that's worth. It is a non-tallow vegan soap base. And I do have the matching aftershave right here for it. The blades I'm going to use for the razors, before I forget, are going to be two Persona Lab Blue blades. So those are going to go into the razors, and the brush is going to be this 22mm Shavemac I think this is a Cranberry custom handle turn with a flat top fan knot, 2-band Badger. You don't see those very often. And it's 22 millimeters. It's a really cool looking kind of sparkling cranberry brush. It goes well with the soap and the aftershave. I mean, it's definitely a good photogenic experience, if you can call it that. Okay, let's get all this together and let's do a shave. Alright, let's start spraying. Got the first 10 sprays of water in the bowl, the Pereira Shavery Unbreakable shaving bowl, and I'm going to talk about the scent while I lather it. Give the scent some attention. So 11235 is PAA's take on the iconic fragrance 4711. When I made a reference earlier to the fact that the scent dated back to the 1700s, 4711 is a very, very old scent. So what does it actually smell like? Well, it is very citrusy, floral, and herbaceous. I would say by far the dominant notes are the citrus notes, including petitgrain, neroli, some other kind of unspecified citrus notes that they put in there. In my opinion, it's a little on the lemony side, just a little bit. It does smell a bit like lemon. And I do get the lavender. It's not very woody. It says woody notes in the description. Not really, not to me. I do get a lot of like herbaceous, almost peppery kind of notes. Oh yeah. And it is somewhat effervescent from the aldehydes. It's actually pretty good. Where would I put this? Well, I mean, the way it smells citrusy, aromatic, and floral, but it does not smell particularly high quality, and that's because 4711 is a pretty cheap fragrance slash aftershave. I would, if I had to put 4711 somewhere, I would put it in the same category as like Clubman aftershaves like that. Basically, it's one step above your pharmacy aftershaves like Aqua Velvet, Skin Bracer, Brute, things like that. If you want to go one step up and not go crazy, it's going to be Clubman scents and like 4711, in my personal opinion. Okay, let's set this down and wet the face. Three days of growth. I wanted to do this yesterday, but I got busy with other things. So now I got to do it with a little bit more growth than what I had planned, but I guess this will just make it easier to tell which one's going to be the winner. Guess we'll see. What's the scent strength on the PAA 11235? It's pretty strong. This one's a 4 out of 5 on the sniffle-meter without a doubt. Okay, let's get this on the face. Look at that craziness. This is a relatively new brush, and so the stench of the of the brush being broken in is kind of competing with the scent of the soap. I can still smell the soap. It's just kind of an interesting juxtaposition. Okay. It's actually not a bad scent, to be honest with you. I've never bothered picking up 4711 just because I was just like, it's another citrusy scent, like whatever. It's actually not that bad though. Okay, I am going to start on my left side with the stainless steel version of the Merica razor. I'm going to try to just shave straight down this way and kind of give me a distinct line where I need to start with the other one. So I'm going to start an unusual spot. I'm going to start right here with the Persona Lab Blue blade. Oh, it's kind of tuggy. Did I get a nick just that fast? Look at that. That was fast. Alright, well, it is what it is. Ooh, it's tuggy. Both razors are kind of blade feely. Yates razors are known for being that way. If you're on a Merica 34C, something like that, and you want to experience something that's a little more challenging and just a little bit more blade feely, I think this razor is like the next logical step. Well, one of the many next logical steps. Okay. Let's go to the titanium version on my right side. Now, because it's lighter weight, this one, in my opinion, has a lot more blade chatter. I'm not sure if you can hear the difference. It is significantly lighter weight, too, so that'll affect the sound as well. Oh, there's another nick. What the hell? It must just be how I'm shaving. I'm shaving in a way, in that part of my face that I don't normally shave. I don't usually come at my face from that angle, but it'll just be what it is. This one is definitely doing a lot less work for me. Like, I have to have a lot more wrist and hand control because it's a significantly lighter weight razor. Let me lather up for a second pass. It is late September. It's still hot outside, so this scent kind of makes sense. I think in late September it might be slightly out of season for me. I think I might have quit using this in late August, early September under normal circumstances, but it'll be alright. It's not a cardinal sin in the soap thing shaved end quite yet. Okay, let's do across the grain. Yeah, definitely a significantly heavier weight razor. The actual plates feel pretty much identical. One is not, obviously not more blade feely than the other. Oh, by the way, the actual blade gap and blade exposure on this razor, on both of them, is 0.021 inches of blade gap, because Jacob Yates uses inches rather than metric because he's a weirdo. And that computes to about a 0.53 millimeter blade gap, and they both have neutral exposure. Yeah, as far as like blade feel and like where the rubber meets the road, they feel practically identical. I think, in my opinion, the only reason to get the titanium version is if you really want something that is going to withstand the test of time, because this razor, it's not going to corrode, it's not going to patina, it's not going to tarnish, it's not going to rust. Like, it's going to look like this forever. So that would be a justifiable reason, in my opinion, to get the titanium version. Otherwise, I would say you're not missing much picking one over the other. I might just go for the cheaper one if you're really looking for an affordable shave. I'm going to use this to kind of touch up the rest of my face. Let's see what the damage is. Same spots as normal that tend to need some extra attention. Using the titanium one to do touch-ups. Definitely requires more control and more kind of deliberate force, because you don't have the weight doing all that work for you. Okay. Oh. Seems like a good shave except for right here and right here. And I think that was because I don't normally shave straight down in this part of my face. I normally shave across and then up. So I'm going to blame that on me shaving abnormally rather than anything to do with the razors, the blades, or the soap. Let's go to the Aftershave 11235 from PAA. Now this stuff is significantly less herbaceous. Yeah, it's way more citrusy. I always gotta laugh at people who have the nerve to be surprised that the aftershave and the soap don't match. That's because the soap is one-dimensional and the aftershave is not. The aftershave is going to be a medium for holding scent differently than a shaving soap. Plus it's going to slowly evolve as it dries down on your skin, versus a shaving soap is really, really one-dimensional. So pretty much the way you smell it once lathered is the way it's always going to smell. So let's do this first. Is this good enough for me to recommend for a purchase? I don't know. This one is, I guess I'll give it a thumbs up. Just because in my opinion there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, I don't find the scent that interesting, personally. It's just kind of an old-timey, slightly fuddy-duddy, kind of citrusy floral sort of thing. It's not really checking a whole lot of boxes for me scent-wise. My thoughts on these two things. Switch that around. So they're on the original side that they were on. The Yates Merica razors. In my opinion, if you just want a decent shave that is a little bit more of a intermediate shave, like you're not a beginner anymore, you're moving up in the world, this one is your guy, just because it's cheaper. The only reason to get this one, in my opinion, is if you want a razor that's going to be in austere conditions, or if you're somebody that doesn't tend to take care of your razor very well, because this can be left fully assembled, wet, and it's not going to rust. So you're not going to have to worry about that. It's lighter weight. It travels really easily. But from a sheer price standpoint, I don't think it's a must-buy over the stainless steel. You got to have a really specific reason for needing the titanium version over the stainless steel version, in my personal opinion. And that's the video for today. Questions, comments, put them in the comments section of the video. Otherwise, until next time, this is Soap Thing telling you, shave like you mean it. Thanks for watching.